Good morning, everyone. It is November 17th, 2018. Why understanding the brutal reality of SHTF can save your life. This is written by Daisy Luther of The Organic Prepper. Now, I'm not going to go into the entire article, but it does make some good points. And I'm going to go over some of them and expand on them. So Miss Luther, she says there's something incredibly important for your survival that a lot of folks aren't doing. I've written about overriding your body's natural urge to freeze in a panic when something terrible happens, but there's an additional step you must take. You need to know the horrible truth about SHTF, the ugly, brutal truth. Now, a lot of people, preppers, they think because they stockpile all kinds of shit, food, water, and don't get me wrong, that will help you and make your life more convenient during SHTF, so you don't have to go looking for these things. However, this is not what will save your life. So, knowing saves your life. Now, she talks about stockpiling, like I just did, going to the range, and shooting stationary objects. You need to get more practice than shooting stationary objects. Now, if you can't practice now, as soon as shit hits the fan, you should probably go somewhere very secluded and really work on yourself. I've said this many times before. You may be out of shape when it happens. However, about a month into it, those of us who are out of shape will be in the best shape we've ever been in. So, and that's a good thing, right? So she interviews this dude named Selko, and another one named Jose. Selko from, what was that, Bosnia, I believe it was, or somewhere in that area, and Jose from Venezuela. She says, I know for a fact that an all-out collapse is a dirty, terrifying and brutal matter of life and death every single day. So she asks, why is it so important to know about the bad stuff? I'm going to go down here to Selko's reply to her question. And it's so you're not shocked, and so you can shorten the adapting period while you are shocked. Generally speaking, there are a lot of sick and bad and dangerous people, and there is. This dude named Florida Marquis, he likes to focus on the idea that prisoners will, they'll get out of the prisons and start running amok. But I disagree with him. I think that it's former government officials, police, other law enforcement people that you probably need to worry about more than some fucking prisoners. So, there's something to think about there. We just do not see them because the layer of civilization and the system covers it. And of course, if I had known, I would prep more, but in the way that did I just butcher his sentence? Let me try this again. She asked why it's so important to know about bad stuff. And I won't stop until I'm done with the paragraph this time. So you won't be shocked, and so you can shorten adapting period while you are shocked. Well, you see, he kind of contradicted himself here. So you won't be shocked, and then he said to shorten the adapting period while you are shocked. Okay? Generally speaking, there are a lot of sick and bad, dangerous people. We just do not see them because the layer of civilization and the system covers it. And of course, if I had known, I would prep more, but in the way that I would invest more in skills, much more than in equipment. Everything is much more mobile and fluid when people expect, but if you understand this, you will be able to move with it faster and sooner. And that makes sense. I write about the importance of adaptation, and I've talked about that myself in previous videos. But here's the thing. You should prepare to be fluid, like water. I constantly remind people that the 3 steps of survival are to accept, plan, and act. There you go. You need to train yourself not to freeze. Now, it can happen to anybody, but if you freeze, it could get you killed, right? Now, I've told a story about how I had to cross this really large field in the middle of the night, and I got surrounded by a pack of wild dogs, and they were, they were hungry, all right? Had I freezed and laid down on the ground in a fetal position, them fucking dogs would have eaten me. Keeping a clear mind under pressure is always the most important thing you can do. Alright, so many people freeze in a disaster situation. It's human nature, but the ability to break this paralysis is paramount to your survival. You can train yourself not to freeze by exposing yourself to the things you may experience while in a safe environment. Freezing is called tonic immobility in behavioral science, and it is a biological impulse. A study exploring the freeze response to stressors describes the reaction. Part of Barlow's 2002 description of an adaptive alarm model suggests that a freeze response may occur in some threatening situations. Specifically, freezing or tonic immobility may overwhelm other competing action tendencies. For example, when fleeing or aggressive responses are likely to be ineffective, a freezing response may take place. Look, if you're unable to freeze, or that was a Freudian slip, if you're unable to flee, the best thing you can do is give a extremely aggressive response. Freezing, again, could get you killed. Now, would you rather be killed fighting as aggressively as possible, or get killed frozen? So, and it's similar to the flight or fight response. A freeze response is believed to have adaptive value. In the context of predatory attacks, some animals will freeze or play dead. Now, if the person or group of people do not see you and you're crouched down behind some bushes or a tree or some other object, then maybe freezing or not moving is a good idea. I mean, you have to play it by what you're seeing around you, right? How many people do they have? What kind of weapons do they have? Do they have children with them? And so on and so forth. You answer these questions, then make the decision of what you're going to do based on your answers, right? Gallup 1977 includes motor and vocal inhibition with an abrupt initiation of sensation freezing in the context of an attack seems counterintuitive. However, tonic immobility may be the best option when the animal perceives little immediate chance of escaping or winning a fight. So, what made Selko realize that SHTF was actually there? Okay, so his response was, or is, when I saw people killing for fun, killing without reason, killing for no concerns about punishment or the law, throwing others from 10-story buildings out of curiosity to see if they'd live, while taking bets on it. Of course, they were sure they were gonna die, but they said, I bet you'll survive if you do, and if you do, we'll let you go. It was a joke to them. So, this individual, he's lived in it firsthand, and people out there are so fucking sick that they'll go around raping children, women, and in some cases men, right? Not to mention tying them down and doing torturous things to them. That's why it is imperative that you do not get captured. Now, if you have a choice between dying and being captured by one of these groups of people, your best bet is probably death. Back on topic, she says, do you have a potential predator living next door? Now, I've recently done a sex offender search for my area, and what I found is very, very disturbing. This place is saturated with sex offenders. Saturated. So, you know, as a result, I keep my children very, very close to me. If they go outside, I'm watching them pretty much the whole time. So she says, do you know people in real life who you think would turn into predators if they knew that there was no risk of punishment? Well, see, that's where they're wrong. There is risk of punishment. If you come across the wrong person and behave in a predatory manner, that person will kill you. And I am such a person. If you make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, I get a sick feeling in my stomach when I come across you, I'm going to kill you. Period. If they knew that they wouldn't go to prison because the prisons were gone. If they knew there was no 911 or law enforcement to help their victims. I do. I've known people in the past that I'm quite certain would be the kind of animals who kill men and cage their women and daughters for their own sick amusement if they thought they could get away with it. And we do have these kind of people all over the place, right? So make no mistake about it, they are around. She says there are different levels for which we prepare. There are many different types of events for which we prepare. We as preppers want to be ready for everything from being stranded in our car due to a winter run-in with a deer, to a multi-day power outage at home, to a job loss that causes great personal financial distress. And I'm there now already with that one. A full-blown or full-on SHTF event in which all hell breaks loose. She goes on to say we're not like the people from Doomsday Preppers who are presented as preparing for one single event, such as a meteor, pandemic, and so on. So, and she goes on to say, sometimes I think we are on the brink of darkness. We're not on the brink of darkness. We're already there. I mean, think about the amount of children that go missing every year. Not to mention the adults. Think about the amount of people that police enjoyably gun down. Think about how the churches have all been infiltrated by these fucking pedophiles. We're already in the darkness, not on the brink of it. She says we're at a dark point in American history right now. I'm not saying that we are about to face a civil war like the one that Selko endured, but I am also not saying that we are free of any risk of such a thing. Tensions, as I write frequently, are at a real high right now. Our socio-political scene is a true nightmare, stubbed with extremists who sincerely see the others as the enemy. They surround the homes of spokespeople and threaten their families. They rally united in hatred against one another. They battle it out for and against the admission of immigrants, and things are increasingly heated. Every time there is a questionable verdict, we're on the brink. Every time there is an appointment to offices in Washington, D.C., we are on the brink. Every time there is an election, we're on the brink. Civil debates are a thing of the past. People are enraged when others disagree with them, and they react with hatred, not discussion. Now, sometimes the only way to react is with violence. Sometimes that is all you have, right? I'm a small person. I'm only like 5'6", 5'7", and 120 pounds. So whatever I do has to have maximum effect right out the gate. I can't be fucking around with somebody who is 100 pounds heavier than me in a strength-to-strength battle. I will not do well. I have to do things a little differently than a guy that's 6'6" or whatever and weighs 250 pounds. So, people like me, we have to end it very, very quickly. But bottom line is your psychological preparation is far, far more important than your physical preparation. Without the psychological aspect, you are doomed to make some serious mistakes. If you're afraid of heights now, you better face that fear. If you're afraid of snakes and spiders, you better face that fear before shit hits the fan. Not during, before. You need to face whatever fears you have now so they have less impact when it really matters. Anyway, thought I would share this with y'all. I hope you have a good day. Remember, kill the state before the state kills you.